A single image changed, and the mood of a nation shifted with it. Before we go any further, hit subscribe and turn on your bell so you get first-hand updates as this story unfolds. On Tuesday, November 5th, King Charles and Queen Camilla quietly refreshed their official social media pages to mark remembrance, the solemn season when the United Kingdom and Commonwealth honored those who served and sacrificed. It was a simple digital move, but not a small one, because symbolism, especially now, does a kind of heavy lifting that words rarely can. The couple's profiles on Instagram, X, and Facebook switched to a stark, military-themed photograph of them at a remembrance service in 2009, taken at the National War Memorial in Ottawa. Alongside it, a cover image of red poppies was paired with 4 words that carry centuries of weight. Lest we forget, set beneath the royal coat of arms. What happened, where, and when is clear, but the why matters more. The monarchy has been weaving this online observance into its annual rhythm for years, using early November to tune the public conversation toward remembrance, gratitude, and shared history. It is, in a way, the modern version of a wreath laid at dawn, a small beacon in millions of feeds that says, "Pause here, remember together." I think that is the point, really, to turn scrolling into a moment of silence, even if it lasts only a second. This is not just an online gesture. In London, King Charles visited Chatfield Healthcare in Battersea to learn how its teams support veterans, from mental health services to community reintegration. The stop was practical and, frankly, overdue in a country still reckoning with how to properly care for those who carried its battles. Staff shared examples of day-to-day work, the slow, patient kind that rarely makes headlines but changes lives at kitchen table scale. It showed the king's commitment to tying the crown's ceremonial duty to tangible support, the how behind the words "we remember." Queen Camilla, meanwhile, kept a beloved tradition at the Field of Remembrance in the grounds of Westminster Abbey. Surrounded by small wooden crosses, each bearing a name or regiment, she planted one of her own and bowed her head. Maybe that sounds ceremonial, and it is, but if you have stood in that field, you know it also feels personal. The air is still. The traffic noise fades. Stories sit underfoot, not in books. Her presence there, steady and unhurried, reinforced the message conveyed online. Remembrance must be seen, felt, and carried, not just posted. The royal household's social media change also fits a predictable cadence, a digital tradition that lands just ahead of the national service at the Cenotaph and Remembrance Sunday. By moving first, the King's office effectively sets the tone for the week and probably nudges the rest of us to do the same. Where a poppy, call a grandparent, reread a letter. It is expected that the Prince and Princess of Wales, William and Catherine, will update their own pages as the commemorations build. That staggered approach creates a sense of rolling attention, not a single blast of content that's forgotten by lunchtime. Critics might say a profile photo is a small thing in a world full of large problems, and they would be right, sort of. But small signals, repeated over time, create culture. The crown has learned to braid tradition with technology, to pull a thread from the past and stitch it into the present using tools most of us open a dozen times a day. In my experience, that blend works best when it is paired with real-world action, and this week it was. A visit to a clinic in Battersea, a field of crosses at the Abbey, and a message that respect is not abstract, it is specific, local, and lived. There is also a quiet unity in the imagery chosen. The Ottawa photograph places the couple in a Commonwealth setting beyond Britain, a reminder that remembrance crosses borders and generations. The poppy banner, with its spare text and the royal coat of arms, does not lecture or dramatize. It simply invites a pause. The monarchy is, probably more than ever, performing its duty on 2 stages at once, the street and the screen. When those stages align, you feel it. So the news is not just that pictures changed online. The news is that an old institution keeps finding relevant ways to anchor collective memory, both in person and in the infinite scroll. As the nation moves toward Remembrance Sunday, expect more appearances, more moments of silence, and, yes, more small digital shifts that cue a larger chorus of gratitude. Remember the headline and the first line. Keep them sharp. The most important facts go first, then the details, then the echo that lingers after the cameras leave. Here, the facts are simple. The echo is what we carry. A profile image, a field of wooden crosses, a visit where veterans are seen and heard. That is the story. If this matters to you, subscribe and turn on your bell so you do not miss the next update. And as you go about your day, ask yourself a quiet question: whose sacrifice gives me the freedom to live this ordinary moment? And what will I do with it?